Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm working on a canvas panel with acrylic paint. I've got white, territorial beige, Falenzo red, English ivy green, admiral blue, and burnt umber. But anything close to this will work. And I've already painted my canvas with yellow ochre. You don't have to do that. That's just a color that I like to have in the background to kind of peek through sometimes. You can leave it white if you want, or use a different color. All right, so I'm going to start with my palette knife and put in my rocks. So I just want to get some paint on the back of the knife and just kind of skim it across here. This will give me that rough texture I need for the rocks. All right, now I guess I'll need a ruler for the horizon line because I can't draw a straight line. Let's see, so I need to determine where I want my sky to start. And I'm just going to use just a synthetic flat brush and mix up a sky color. And then I'm just going to very roughly put this in. I want a little bit of texture back there. I don't want it to be smooth. Okay, and then for the water, I want kind of obviously a lot of blue in it, but kind of green too. So I'll go ahead and create my horizon line with the water. And then I can roughly paint the rest of this in. Okay, now I can start deciding where my dry ground is going to be. I want that to be fairly light. All right, so maybe I'll leave a little bit of water over here. And maybe just bring it. I want it to be wider here than it is back here, because in the distance things get smaller. Plus this water is going to be coming up over and kind of covering it, so it'll just kind of disappear back here. I'm just using a synthetic flat brush, and maybe right here on the edges I'll start making the indication of the water coming up. Okay, so for the water, I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller brush. It's still just a flat synthetic, but for the water, I want a little bit darker shade. Same color, just not as much white in it. And I'm going to start bringing up my movement in my water. So I want it to kind of maybe come up here. Maybe some of it goes up above the horizon line, so I'm going to go ahead and indicate that. The main thing here is keeping your brush strokes going in the direction that you want your water to go. And over here, you're really just going to have some movement. It's because you're seeing it from a different angle. You're seeing the wall of the water here, but over here you're just kind of seeing the top of the rough water. So there's just going to be some movement over here. Okay. Now for a little bit different shade. I'm brushing this in mostly toward the top of each little wave or whatever these are. And another shade. And maybe some of these shades over here too, just scumbled in. Okay. Now I can get a little more detail. I don't want it to be detailed at all, but just a little bit of detail here and there will help with the illusion of what's actually going on. So just maybe some thinner, sharper lines here and there. Maybe down here where the water meets the ground, this will be a good transition color. Keeping the brush strokes going in the direction of the water. Okay. Now I'm going to use my fan brush, hog bristle fan brush, and start putting in some of my caps on the waves. So this is like a really, really pale, almost white, but blue shade. And I'm using the tip of my brush, not the long part, because it'll create the wrong design. So I'm using the tip of my brush and tapping in these caps. Same thing over here, but again, you're seeing at different angles. So this is just going to be some rough water. Now with a round brush, I'm going to come back here and just kind of put some little bit of texture back here in the water. I want to keep it horizontal because the water back here is still water, so it's just going to be laying flat. But I do want a little bit of texture in it. Okay, now I think I can go ahead and start on him. So I'm just going to use a small flat brush. And when I make the traceable for this, I'll put in the outline for him, but I'm just going to paint it on right now. And I'm just going to start with a base color, and then I'll come back and add different colors to it. So I want him to stand about right here. So maybe his head is about right here. Just a kind of a head shape, not round or anything, just a kind of a hair shape. And then his arm's going to be coming up here like this. Come down. His other arm up here. Okay. Alright, so maybe his hair is dark. I'll come back with a smaller brush and do some detail work, but I'll go ahead and get the bigger areas in. So his cloak right here, I want it to be red. And maybe this is a good color for this. Alright, so I want some highlight on his arm here. And now I can come back with a liner brush and put in some details like so right here where his feet are going to be is a light area, so I need his feet to be darker so that they show up. So there's one foot. This one's kind of coming out this way. The paint behind it is still wet, so it's not laying on there well. And then maybe a little bit of outlining just to create some definition. Alright, so now he needs staff. A little more highlight. Maybe a little darkness down here where it would be in shadow. And speaking of shadow, he needs one, so like a cast shadow from him. So I'm just going to use a round brush, then down some paint, and wonder where my light's coming from. I should have already determined that. Let's see. Maybe it's coming from over here, so his shadow will be cast in this direction. All right, now he needs some highlight on his robe. So I'll just use some kind of light red shade. All right. Wait a minute. I might need to darken things up a little bit in places to give it more dimension. So maybe under these caps. Because the caps are creating a shadow for the water, so it would be a little bit darker right underneath them. Now, one last thing. I want to come back with just pure white. This is the fan brush again. And just brighten up those caps just a little bit here and there. Alright, I think I'm going to stop at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, God bless you.